Share your pouch with a friend. Anything to keep warm in this one. Head-to-head matchup for first place. The Bears and Lions spilling their guts out in this one. Tommy, Jerry Ball lines up. He's breathing on Hilgenberg.
Yeah, he gets as close to him as possible, Chris, so that Hilgenberg won't get that arm extension on him. Here he gets quick penetration to Brad Mustard, causes the fumble. Mustard recovers. But this was the kind of day that the battle that he and Hilgenberg had all day. Here Hilgenberg handles him. Still can't get those arms extended, though.
What a great matchup between a pair of Pro Bowlers. The feet of Barry Sanders, and even on the frozen turf, watch Sanders make his cuts. As he darts past Singletary and picks up yards against the Chicago Bear defense. Eric Kramer to Brett Perriman. As we've learned on the show a few weeks ago, the pylons, the end zone at the touchdown. Hey, the Lions playing very well. They lead it 10-3 at the half. There's Kramer's numbers, his first NFL start, first professional start in 3 years. Very good day. Jim Harbaugh started off slowly, but you know that he picks up the pace. If you remember last week against New Orleans, that was the pass to Wendell Davis. Then on the same drive, Davis slows up, looks at the ball. Melvin Jenkins for the Lions can't recover. It's a touchdown, and the Lions lead is now a Bears lead, 13-10, even though it's too cold to cheer with your hands. Took a while for Neil Anderson to warm up, but here he goes on the outside getting some good blocks.
Look at the blocking out front by Thayer.
Then watch Harbaugh buying time, scrambling from pressure, finding who else? Wendell Davis. Morris on IR. They don't lose a beat with Davis. 8-yard touchdown. Harbaugh throwing for 205 yards. Both to this man, Wendell Davis, 6 catches for 98 yards. Even though it was below zero, the fans stuck around. The Bears beat the cold, and in the end, they also beat the Lions. The Bears, by their lonesome, atop the NFC Central at 7-2. The Lions fall to 6-3. Bears beat them 20-10. They'll meet again in Detroit on Thanksgiving, and what a fine game that'll be. Both teams have easy schedules down the pike. Pair of 4-4 teams, the Niners and the Atlanta Falcons.
It was 5 years away from being drafted by Chicago. The year was 1956, and football was strictly an outdoor game. But here in '91, the Lions rolled to 6 indoor wins to set up this showdown. And Chicago stopped them cold out of doors at chilly Soldier Field. We mean chilly. 23 degrees, -10 wind chill factor at kickoff. Those were Kevin Butler's feet trying to stay warm. Second quarter, Eric Kramer in for Detroit. His first NFL start, filling in for Rodney Peete. Boy, he looked good early. Flips to Brett Perriman, a 10-yard touchdown. And the Lions had a 7-3 lead. Wayne Fontes trying to keep warm. Third quarter, Jim Harbaugh throws one up into the wind, and watch Wendell Davis play the wind. Come back for the football. 22-yard touchdown, 13-10 Bears. Punter Jim Arnold. His center, Eric Sanders, sharing a tender moment. Fourth quarter, Harbaugh buying some time, waits, and would find Wendell Davis again. 8-yard touchdown. Barry Sanders held to 63 yards rushing in this game, and Chicago does all the second half scoring to go on to win and claim sole possession of first place in the NFC Central. All 3 Lion losses have come in the elements, and Ditka just loves the great outdoors.
Yeah, this was a reverse dome factor. There's no question about it. I used to think that, you know, I told our team last night that when we talked about Bear weather, that meant something. I'm not sure anymore. We got to prove it again because, we haven't done that well in this kind of weather. But today, I thought we played hard, and it was nice to see dirty uniforms again.
We couldn't afford to lose here in our own stadium and put them a game up, plus have to go back to the Silverdome in November, so it was a huge win for us.
Soldier Field today, frigid temperatures. Those 2 teams tied with 6-2 records, but the Bears sent them back to Motown with a 20-10 loss. The Lions haven't won a game all year where they haven't had a roof over their heads. They did play well in the first half, though. In fact, they were ahead 10-3 at halftime, but Jim Harbaugh and the Bears offense got it cranked up in the second half. Wendell Davis caught 2 TD passes. Great comeback to that ball, and it was 13-10 Chicago. The defense was spectacular. Lions quarterback Eric Kramer under the gun throughout the game. Great pressure here, and a big hit by Mark Carrier, who will join us live at 9:40 on Instant Replay to recap this Bears win. Again, final score 20-10. They win it over Detroit. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Instant Replay. When the Bears play in the Silverdome on Thanksgiving Day, it's a lock they'll have a tough time coming home with a victory. Today, it was just as easy to predict a long day for Detroit at Soldier Field. It's glass versus grass. The Lions are undefeated inside their dome and the others around the NFL, but they haven't won on the outside yet. And it was the ultimate outdoor game in Chicago today. Cold temps, high winds, bare weather. and it helped produce a Bear victory 20-10. That breaks the first-place tie in the NFC Central. Two different halves in this game. Detroit owned the first half, and they actually grilled a live lion out there in the south parking lot. That's how hungry they were for a victory today. This is reserve quarterback Eric Kramer of the Lions hitting Brett Perriman in the second quarter. That's a touchdown. Lions take the lead 7-3. First NFL start for Kramer and did a good job. Bears offense in the second quarter. What offense? Jerry Ball took down Jim Harbaugh. The Bears had 10 yards in the second period and trailed 10-3 at halftime. But they got it going in the third after a key pass interference call. Harbaugh pressured but got it up for Wendell Davis. Tremendous adjustment to the ball by Wendell for the catch and the score. 13-10 Chicago back on top. Harbaugh would finish today with pretty good numbers, and the Chicago defense tightened up on Detroit in the second half. Kramer's pass here intercepted by Donnell Wolford, stepped right in front of Herman Moore, and the Lions got virtually no yards until it was too late to make a difference in the second half. Then Harbaugh and Davis hook up for the insurance touchdown. Scrambling right, Davis found a seam in the end zone and caught it for another score. Bears hang on to win it 20-10, back in control in the NFC Central. And for the Bears, a lot of similarities to last week's game in New Orleans, where they were behind for much of the time and then pulled it out late. Today, not quite as frantic, but a lot colder. Rich King has the post-game report.
For just about 3 quarters, the Bears' offense looked as painfully cold as the fans. But finally, Jim Harbaugh found Wendell Davis for a 22-yard score to give the Bears a 13-10 lead. Davis, like everybody else, finding it hard to cope in a wind chill of 8 below.
It wasn't too bad after we got going, you know. Just standing on the sideline, you get cold, but after you get going and playing, get the adrenaline pumping,
that
it's
first
okay.
catch in this weather looked very tough to make. That one where you deke the guy out there in the end zone, the first one.
Yeah, I just had to concentrate on the ball. Harbaugh kind of threw it behind me, and the guy was looking for the ball, and he never did really get his eye on the ball, and I fell back to the ball.
We decided, well, let's match fire with fire and come out, because there's some weaknesses to everything that has a strength. There should be a weakness somewhere if you look hard enough, and so we found a few weaknesses, and at least we were able to move the ball decently.
Neil Anderson outgained Barry Sanders 68 to 63 yards, 18 coming on this play. As for Sanders, he was hemmed in for the most part. Richard Dent, it seemed, was always in his face.
Well, just try to sit down and try to make him go around you, not up in the middle of the field. That's where you want to go. If you go up the middle of the field, you got an opportunity to do some things. But when you push him to the sideline, then, you know, the sideline run out sooner or later.
It was not a pretty win for the Bears, but somehow they got it done. And after they thawed out in the locker room, the talk was a victory and what the game meant.
Oh, I think it was the most important game of the season so far, because we couldn't afford to lose here in our own stadium and put them a game up, plus have to go back to the Silverdome.
So in most ways, this was a typical Chicago Bears victory. The defense did a great job all afternoon long. Then late, the offense got some points on the board.
Mark Carrier with us again tonight. It wasn't that cold out there, was it?
It was very cold. I'm a California guy. If it was under 60 degrees, it's cold to me.
Well, your feet have thawed out by now, or have they?
No, not yet. The toes are still frozen.
You got that warm glow of victory, though, and this was a big game. You guys were able to beat Detroit and regain control, at least for now, in the division. What do you think of the Lions not having played them in a while? And, you know, they weren't all that good the last time you played them a year ago.
They were, and I thought they were a good team last year. We did, and we had to go in OT to beat them last year, even at our home field. And I definitely know how they beat us down there in the Silverdome. I still think they're a good team. I think they're going to win definitely a share of the games this year, especially when they're playing in that dome. They're a very good team. Barry Sanders, just makes that offense go. But the key to really shutting that offense down is you have to put points on the board.
Yeah, get them to play from behind. I know Sanders hasn't cracked 70 yards the last 3 times he's played against the Bears. Is it something you guys do, or is it the way circumstances are that they're having to come back and try to catch up and having to put it in the air a little bit more?
Well, I think it's a little bit of all that, where we put some points on board, then they really have to throw the ball more. But Barry, the way we go against Barry, we really tell our front 7 guys just to play patient and react. And that's really kind of hard. It took us a while to adjust to that. That's why they were very successful in the first half of running the ball, because we really have to be patient with our front 7 of attacking, which we're attacking defense. We're telling those front guys to watch him, be patient, because he's so well at picking a hole and running and darting out the outside. We try to attack too much, and we did a better job in the second half. And we got points on the board, where he really wasn't no factor in the offense anymore. They had to throw the ball.
It worked out great in the second half. Well, let's check it out. We're going to start in the first quarter. Opening kickoff and a nice Bears drive ended up with Kevin Butler's 21-yard field goal. Thought you might get a touchdown there, but it looked like it was going to be easy with that drive.
It did. We had the great kickoff return that started off that helps us win a lot of these big games.
And here goes Barry. This is a 14-yarder, maybe his best of the day. I mean, the first guy, as John Madden pointed out many times today, rarely gets him.
That's very true. No one really gets a great shot on Barry. He's too shifty and too good at running. He follows his blockers very well.
Of course, your old SC buddy Rodney Pete's out for the year with a bad foot. Brett Perryman, quarterback today, threw this touchdown pass. Brett caught it, I should say. Eric Kramer's the quarterback. What did you think of him?
I thought he threw the ball very well. I think he had a little problem towards the end of trying to recognize we're in man or zone.
Now, that'll happen to the young guy. Meanwhile, the Bears offense wasn't doing much at all. Jim Harbaugh was sacked by Ball there, but a nice pick here by John Mangum. Stepped right in front to make the interception. That kind of helped you guys keep the Lions off the board again, I think, right there.
That was a big key because in the first half we didn't have any turnovers. This is the second half. He's getting an offense opportunity to move the ball and field position at the same time.
Well, only one penalty against the Bears today, and the special teams were pretty good, too.
Our special teams have gotten better every week. We've come up with big plays or key field position that goes a long way in winning these games.
You know, coaches talk about it all the time, and people may not realize just how important it is to get special teams play like that.
It's very important, especially to our team.
Well, here's late third quarter now. Harbaugh finally gets a little bit of time. He hits Wendell Davis. Big third down catch there for a 21-yard gain. And then a crucial interference call against Detroit. Harbaugh got in trouble, and pretty good improvisation right here, Mark. This is the one to muster.
This was just heads-up playing football on Brad and Jim. Jim scrambled looking for someone. Before last year, probably took off running. Brad saw he was getting ready to run. He took off and tossed it to him. Big play.
And now just a lob up into the end zone. Wendell Davis, how about that adjustment?
I think that was a great job on both parts again, where Jim just threw it up and Wendell adjust to it, because a lot of times the defensive backs, knowing this by firsthand, that they're not looking at the ball and the receiver has better aim on it, and he goes and he can adjust to it a lot easier.
Here's your partner, Donnell Wolford, stepping right in front of Moore for the interception on the first play of the fourth quarter, so that cooled off the Lions again. And really, they didn't do anything at all in the fourth quarter.
They really didn't. By that time, we had the lead, and now they had to play catch-up in that run and shoot, and they weren't too patient in it.
And the Bears offense starting to balance up a little bit now. They had some success with a pass in the third, and here goes Neil Anderson out of the shotgun for 20 yards early in the fourth. That helped open things up, I think, too, offensively for Chicago. And then here's the second touchdown pass to Davis. Another good job by Harbaugh, looking around even as he runs out to the right here.
Oh, this is a great play by Jim. Here, again, a year or two ago, he probably would have ran for that. There he had the wise to look up and try to find a receiver downfield.
Have to say, everybody in the office was yelling at him to run the ball. But he didn't, and he threw it, and he got the touchdown. Geez, who made that hit at the end of the game?
One of my few plays you guys are showing. I'm getting better. You guys show one play. It was a big fourth down play. I'm excited because I don't get that many times you even break on the ball anymore.
Now, what's the deal, anyway? I mean, they're never throwing the ball in your area anymore. Is it because they respect you because you made Pro Bowl last year, Rookie of the Year, and made all those picks?
I doubt it, seriously, is that it works out that way. It's just what happens where I'm at, because in our defensive secondary, I move around in different positions, and I might be rolled up one way or going deep middle a lot, which I do a lot more this year than I did last year, and they're really like they're going out to the outside, attacking the corners a little more.
Real quick, Vikings on Monday night next week. What about them?
In the Dome, they play much better. The Vikings are a Jekyll and Hyde type of team. You don't know what team's going to show up. Here they had Detroit beat, and Detroit came back to beat them. They played kind of slow against Tampa Bay today, from what I heard, and then came back to beat them pretty soundly. You don't know. It's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. We know what happened when we went down there last year. So Monday night, national television. Again, another big game in our division.
Okay, Mark, good going today, and good luck next week.
Thank you.